Dan Moskal here, and we are looking at some examples of email marketing, and we're going to look at an example message, and then we're going to put it into our follow-up email autoresponder sequence. And one of the messages, I'm going to go ahead and just share this message with you because it is an important message. And one of the things, if you go and grab a copy of my book, Email Marketing That Works, so you don't have to, one of the big things that's important to do is not always sell in your email messages. It is very key and very vital and very important and very crucial to building your relationship with your list, to share and be a friend with your list. Send them information that is, it does help your business, but also be a human being and be a friend to people on your list. Let me go ahead and just share with you this message. And this is going to be our subject line here at the top. Steve Young, Brett Favre, Dan Moskal, Troy Aikman. My name's Dan Moskal. So let me go ahead and just share this brief message with you because it is important, and it's something that I'm going to share with not just people on my list, but my friends, my family, and my loved ones, my nieces and nephews. So Brett Favre, Steve Young, Dan Moskal, Troy Aikman, and arguably every football player share brain trauma injuries. My brain injury caused me to urinate on myself at 13 years old. When I was 13 years old, I had a brain aneurysm rupture. This resulted in 6 weeks in the hospital, brain surgery, and the loss of the gifts of communication. I can vividly recall one afternoon in the ICU when I wasn't able to communicate that I had to pee and resolve myself to getting in my hospital bed and urinating on myself. A very humbling experience. This is one big reason why everyone, parents, kids, football players, moms, dads, etc., should check out the recent Frontline PBS documentary titled League of Denial. And then I put the URLs right here. This is a must see. It looks in depth at the recent NFL lawsuit settlement of over $700 million. In it, you'll hear directly from Steve Young and Brett Favre about their views on lingering brain injuries after leaving the NFL, along with the tear-jerking story of Troy Aikman asking his agent the exact same questions over and over and over again after being knocked out of the NFC Championship game against the San Francisco 49ers. I apologize for this non-business related email, but feel a huge obligation to you, my nieces, nephews, and every kid in the world to help bring attention to this issue. It is obviously a difficult subject when you look at how the game of football has become an integral part of the American culture. In my personal opinion, it is way overdue for the NFL to really address this issue. The NFL may believe they are like Charles Barkley and are not a role model, but like it or not, the NFL sets the standard for college, high school, and Pee Wee football. Hearing the legendary Mike Webster story from the Pittsburgh Steelers glory days and his deterioration will strike a chord with every human being. I can relate all too well with being there, but being unable to function the way you know you are capable of, and have a dogged determination to help others avoid following in Iron Mike Webster's footsteps. If you have some personal feelings, opinions, thoughts, please share them with me and your loved ones. There is not always an easy answer to problems, but this injury that football players from the high school level all the way up through college have been found to suffer from is something we, the American people, should know about, especially parents considering having their kids play football. Your brain is the most precious, powerful, and valuable part of who you are. I too am a football fan, but I'm seriously considering boycotting not just the NFL, but football all the way through at every level. I want my little loved ones to live a full, healthy, rewarding life and feel some responsibility to help bring attention to the NFL's lack of transparency on this issue. I doubt any higher education institution would support the damaging of your brain, but from all appearances, it certainly looks to be that way. Please check it out. Go check out the URL. Unfortunately, the NFL, along with every big college football program, have a vested interest in this issue continuing to be debated. Did you know the NFL disability program was providing Mike Webster with compensation for what 5 separate doctors found to be brain injuries as a result of his football career? As disturbing as this is, it's hard for me not to see the direct correlation between the NFL's public relations campaign over the last 20 years and Big Tobacco's fight against health warnings. The NFL and one of the individuals I personally had a great deal of respect for, Roger Goodell, have potentially caused irreparable damage to hundreds, thousands, and maybe millions of individuals. Please don't let your kids be another one. Your pal, Dan Moskal. Here's my website. Please send any personal feedback and comments to dmoskal@gmail and share this message, documentary, and story with your friends, family, and colleagues. You can save someone's brain and their life. And then again, for the full PBS documentary, visit this URL address. And I'm going to actually put this URL in the description below, but I just want to share this example with you, one, and then two, this is something that's really, really, really important. I mean, if you haven't seen this documentary, please go check it out. But the NFL has been just talking about this stuff for almost 20 years. And if you look at some of the PR campaigns, or if you're familiar with this, I mean, it is appalling to see the way professional football has responded to this issue, because it influences and impacts so many people in this country. I mean, bottom line, period. I think it's pretty we all know that football and slamming your head against the wall is probably not the greatest thing in the world, but if this is causing some really serious damages and causing, Mike Webster passed away at 52, and in this documentary he's talking about, literally, he says to his son, I believe, he's like, it's really hard to realize that all I have to do is put a jacket on to stop being cold. I'm sorry, but there's nothing worth that price. Nothing. Not any millions of dollars, not a football career, not fame, and not fortune. None of it is worth it if at 52 you cannot, your life's gone, one, literally gone. You pass away at 52, or, even younger. I don't know exactly how old Junior Seau was, but this is clear as day. If there wasn't so much money involved with football, period. They were talking about it, and I think it's roughly $120 million per football game that the NFL is earning, and that's not even looking at college football. I mean, there is huge sums of money in this industry, and unfortunately, it is really, really, really appalling to see the way the NFL has responded to this. Not for 1 year, not for 5 years, not for 10 years, but it's been since, I believe it was 1994, when the Commissioner Paul Tagliabue created a group in the NFL to study this topic. That's been almost 20 years. How is there not? Roger Goodell now in front of Congress was saying, that there wasn't enough evidence and that we need to just leave it to the medical professionals. Well, it's not a debate among the medical professionals. The medical professionals have pretty much made up their mind. I mean, this is just, it's black and white. I don't get it. And how Roger Goodell is out here, I just Googled his name, but he's running a health clinic with the Kansas City Chiefs here in the very near future for youth football mothers. How Roger Goodell is pointing to the medical professionals, but then running a youth football camp with another NFL team for youth football player mothers is beyond my understanding, comprehension, and it's just really leaves a really distasteful taste in your mouth. So I apologize for going off on a tangent. Let's get back to email marketing and putting this into our follow-up series. And we can create this as a follow-up. We could send it as a broadcast. A broadcast will send it immediately, but we're going to go ahead and create it a follow-up, and we're going to schedule to send it tomorrow morning at around, we'll send it between 9 and 12 a.m., as we have found this to be one of the better times to send messages. One we're going to use here for our template is just a left aligned plain template. So we're going to do is just delete everything that's in there. What I strongly recommend you do this as well is write your actual email in a text or Microsoft Word or whatever it may be, but then paste it in. I always go and format it as plain text, but then I go through, I highlight it all, and then I change the font size, the font color, the font text, and I add some graphic enhancements like some underlines, some bolding, some italics, some highlighting, etc. But you don't always have to sell in your messages, and really sharing yourself and then sharing some of the important things, because I think this is just incredibly important, and I don't see how, I ended up going and looking at some other videos and stuff, and I don't see how anybody can claim that there hasn't been enough time or enough people to have suffered from this, because any other medical condition, including with big tobacco, the correlation would have already been drawn. I mean, it's a black and white to me. And I will be the first to admit it, that this speaks a little bit more to me, having been 13 and having suffered from brain injury myself, and knowing what it feels like to be there and not be able to communicate. This isn't hurting your shoulder, this isn't breaking your leg, this isn't amputating your arm, your fingers, whatever. This is who and what every single person is. I mean, your brain is such a valuable part. So we have this. We're going to go ahead and just click this little button that looks like a paperclip to link it. Maybe. Usually when it's a URL, it should link automatically, but for some reason it's not. Let's go ahead and do this right here. We'll highlight this League of Denial. And sometimes things get a little messed up like this. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to save it, and then we're going to try and then we're going to go in and add the links. So we'll go ahead and we'll just do this whole thing right here. Maybe we're actually going to just hit next and then go back and pull it up. And this is where we will actually schedule it. We're going to say one day after the previous, and we're going to turn on the send window. This is looking at Aweber's, and we're going to click. We're cool with it being sent every day. We don't mind what day it gets sent on, but we do want it to be sent between 9 a.m. and 12 noon. That's one of the things that we do want. And we're going to go ahead and just save it and exit it. And then we're going to go in here and actually link these links. So we're going to click edit on it. And here we should be able to actually insert these links. I'm not sure why that happened, but it is just, sometimes there's bugs, and sometimes you just have to go through. But you see, we hit that little paperclip button and it's already linked for us. They did all the work for us. So we're going to go ahead and scroll down here to the other parts where we have it, and just click this little paperclip, and it's already linked. And occasionally it will change the font. I'm not totally sure why that happens, but it certainly seems to have happened from the past. I've been doing this online thing since 2006, and as you can see, it didn't happen there. But here's another one we're going to link. That's just to our website. And one of the other things about this is we get a chance to share a little bit about ourselves, and share something that is important, and share something that is what we believe is important to really, I think it should be important to everybody. I mean, this is just, it's not okay. And just because you don't have enough science over 20 years is not okay to keep this debate going. And you think about all the money that's involved with football. There is some vested interest. I mean, it's not in any college's best interest to admit this, or any, even though colleges are secondary, greater institutions of education, they don't want to be responsible or claim some responsibility for having caused brain damage to how many kids that have gone through these football programs. They have a vested interest in it not being, and it continuing to be debated. I mean, it's been 20 years. 20 years. There's no excuse to continue saying that we don't have enough information, and we don't have enough, statistics, and we don't have enough. It's 20 years. If you don't have the numbers, you don't have the statistics, then that, you got to take some responsibility there. I'm sorry, but that's not okay. That's not an excuse. And I think I have faith in you and the American people that, we can see the truth and see when we're being manipulated again by these big businesses and big corporations, whether it be big tobacco or somebody like the NFL, or you name it, any big huge monster corporation. It's not okay to do this. So we're going to go through here. We're going to go ahead and just save this. As I said, we have this saved to be sent out tomorrow morning, first thing in the morning. between 9 and 12, and that's going to be for each individual's local time. And one vital thing to do is to make sure that you test this, send a test to yourself, and make sure your links are all working. And one of the other things we are going to do is actually insert a little share button. And we'll go ahead and just do that right now. But this share button will provide folks the ability to, share it with people on Facebook, Twitter, Google+, LinkedIn, you name it. And I believe we actually would need to post this as a, it looks like we'll have to post it as a web page and then insert the URL. So for example, this isn't the exact way you should do it, but just for time's sake, and I apologize, this video is a little bit long, but if we paste it in our website, then we would be able to share it. And what we really should do, the best way to do this, is to create an actual new post on our website, or to share a post with Google Plus or Facebook, and then put the URL in there so people can share that. And there's a whole bunch of other things, but this is just one example of things and one reason, because this is, let's say, this is the last thing I'm going to mention about this, but even if this, there's some individual on our list who says, oh, the quarterbacks are being protected, the game's gotten soft, blah, 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 they're not going to give us a hard time for talking about, our brain aneurysm at 13 years old and having peed on ourselves. I mean, that's that makes people feel like they know you. It makes people feel, it'll make individuals on our list feel like we really care about them and we're really trying to help them, and it builds some goodwill too, because this is something that, regardless of who we were talking to, I think this is a very important thing, if not one of the most important things we've really ever sent to anybody or shared with anybody, because we've been there, kind of trapped inside of your body where you can't communicate, you can't express yourself, you can't, and things as simple as just pointing at your crotch. Think about it, if you had to tell somebody you had to pee, all you have to do is point at your crotch. But if you can't put those thoughts together, what sort of life can you really live? And I'm the luckiest guy in the world to have been given all these gifts back. But it's something that's important, something that's relevant, and something that, it's not just all about us selling our products, our business, our services. Instead, it's showing some goodwill towards humanity and towards the folks on our list, and being a friend. Like I said, if you're willing to send something to your friends, your family, share it with your kids, share it with your parents, share it with your brothers and sisters, from time to time, that's a good message to stick into your email campaign, because it's going to build goodwill, it's going to build a relationship, it's going to build trust, and it's going to make you appear as more of a human being than simply some great business guy saying, hey, 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 waving your arms back and forth and continuing to keep asking people for their money. Let the other email messages ask people for their money, but from time to time you can send some emails, to just help people and just make them aware and bring some attention to some worthy causes. Kind of like we helped a friend of ours that reached out to us, Claire, and she's working with a nonprofit charity, and did some video interviews with her to help get her message out there and share it with the world. And this is Dan Moskal. You can grab a copy of any of our 3 books. They're over at Amazon. They're also at iTunes. They're also at Barnes & Noble. They're also in the Audible form at audible.com and audiobook at iTunes. You can also grab them on the Kindle and, of course, Amazon. And for a limited time, we're giving you a free copy of this book, our 3rd book, Email Marketing That Works, so you don't have to. To grab your copy, just visit danmoskaluniversity.com, sign up for our newsletter. We're going to obviously send you our email that we just read to you about the NFL, and we want to know what people think and what people feel about it too, but we're going to send that over to you as one of our messages, along with giving you a free copy of our book, Email Marketing That Works, so you don't have to. We've been doing this online and email marketing thing since 2006. We actually ran a national TV commercial with DirecTV and had commercials on ESPN, MTV, VH1, Comedy Central, many more cable TV stations. And our call to action was to visit a website, sign up for our newsletter, and then we would follow up with folks using email marketing. So we have quite a bit of experience and have spent huge sums of money to help use this marketing tool, and it's a very effective tool. So please continue to use it, get started with using it, and remember, you're just playing the numbers. You know, not everybody's going to open this message, and even the folks that do open it, that not everybody's going to read it. I like the comparison of the movie Catch Me If You Can, when Christopher Walken was talking about the two mice and how one of the two mice being dropped in a cream of bucket, and one of the mice turned that cream into butter and was able to crawl out, and the other mouse drowned. And anyways, this is Dan Moskal. Please leave any comments, questions, or concerns below. I'm going to leave a link over to my website along with one of the posts about email marketing and some of the best practices for your content and things and reasons to send messages to folks on your email list. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I've got a whole lot more and many more other videos that you can already check out about email marketing. And again, visit danmoskaluniversity.com, sign up for our free newsletter. We're going to give you a 100% free copy for a limited time of our third book, Email Marketing That Works, so you don't have to. And looking forward to talking to you again soon.